Greetings, it's Iain from RTO. Day 2 of the new setup. We might get it right by the end of the week. Dave and I had a fiddle yesterday, so hopefully this will be a lot better. So today we have got a viewer's request on a very busy day. 4 videos today, 2 birthdays and the usual videos. So we're going to kick off with a viewer's request. And someone has asked for Jefferson Airplane, which is a pleasure to do because they are a great band. Come from that San Francisco sound of the 60s, formed in 1965. One of the first bands from the Bay Area to achieve international success. 8 albums as Jefferson Airplane. They've been Jefferson Airship and Starship and whatever, but we will go through all of them eventually. But today we'll start off with Jefferson Airplane. So coming in at number 8, because there are 8 albums, is the 8th and final album, just called Jefferson Airplane, and it was released in 1989. And the band at that time was Grace Slick on vocals and keyboards, Paul Cantor on vocals and guitars, Marty Balin on vocals, Jack Cassidy on bass, and Jorma Kaukonen on vocals. First track on here is called Planes, and in brackets, Experimental Aircraft. It isn't too bad. It sort of resembles... They're trying to create that 60s sound. There's some nice drumming on here, actually. It's pretty cool. Then we have Freedom. Great vocal from Grace. One of the great singers of the 60s, and she's still got it. Really good. Then we got a thing called Solidarity, which is translated by John Willett. It's an old sort of song. Really not really the sort of thing you expect from Jefferson Airplane. It more in the elves of Starship, to be quite honest. Then we have a little track called Madeline Street. Nothing wrong with this one. It's a pretty strong track, actually. One of the better tracks on this album. Then we got Ice Age, another version of this song. It doesn't fit on here. Sorry. Summer of Love. Again, it's just... They're trying to be more Starship than Jefferson Airplane. That didn't work. Then we have The Wheel. I don't mind this. It sort of ambles along. Common Market, McGrill. Another great song from Grace Slick. Very good. True Love. Definitely a Starship song. Although it's written by Steve Porcaro and Dave Piach. Upfront Blues. It's okay. Then we got Now Is the Time. Not too bad. Too many years. Pleasant enough, but I wouldn't say this is Jefferson Airplane. And Panda. Great vocal from Grace. It's alright in places. It's not a bad album, but don't look at it as Jefferson Airship. Make it as a combination of all the sort of Starship and whatever, all the 3 or 4 bands that they've things. So if you look at it like that, it's got a bit from everything. So I'm going to give this an RTO ranking of 7.5. Okay, then coming in at number 7, we've got the 6th album. Now, this was released in 1971, and it is called Bark. And this is the first album without Marty Balin, and it's the first featuring Papa John Creech, Spencer Dryden, who would replace Joey Covington. So it's Jack Cassidy on bass, Joey Covington on percussion and drums, Paul Cantor on guitars, Jorma Kaukonen on the guitar, Grace Slick on pianos and vocals, and Papa John Creech on violin. So the first track on here is called When the Earth Moves Again. That's not too bad. I like this track. It's quite hoopy, to say the least. pretty good. Then we get my favourite one on this one, and it's called Feel So Good. Different vocal on this. Great bass line though, and great guitar solo as well. This is a pretty good track. Crazy Miranda, another great vocal from Grace, and I love her piano work on this. It's really good. Then we have Pretty As You Feel, co-wrote by Michael Shreve and Carlos Santana. Really weird one. It's got some great bass here. It's got some jazzy sort of thing. Nice violin on it. It's a pretty cool track. Then we have this little instrumental called Wild Turkey. Some great drumming on here from the new drummer Joey. Good little instrumental. Some nice guitar work as well. Then we have Lawman, another Grace Slick song that she sings. Some great riffs here from on the guitars from Yorma. Very, very good track. I think that's how you pronounce his name. I'm not quite sure, so if I have got it wrong, I do apologise. Rock and Roll Island. Some great piano from here, from Grace. Pretty cool. Third week in the Chelsea. Quite folky. Some nice harmonica in this. Bit different. Never you argue with a German if you're tired or European song. One of those albums that I didn't really like. It's just so weird. Then we have a track called Thunk. It's a little bit different. Some nice harmony vocals on this. Pretty strong. War Movie, very strange to end the album. It's different. An album that does get forgotten about. I think it's a good album. You know, you've had a personnel changes, and I think they're just finding their feet again. But on the whole, I think it's an enjoyable album. So I'm going to give this one an RTO ranking of 8 out of 10. Okay, then coming in at number 6, we have the third album released in 1967, and it's called After Bathing at Baxter's. So this is Grace Slick, Marty Balin, Paul Cantor, Jorma Cahogan, Spencer Dryden, and additional vocals from Gary Blackman and Bill Thompson. First track is called The Ballad of You, Me and Pooneely, or Pooneil. Really good track. I do love the guitar work here from Jorma. A great vocal from Grace. Really good. There's some really weird titles in here, and this one's another one of those. A small package of value will come to you. Yes, 7 people playing different things. It's a bit of a noise. Very busy. Young Girl Sunday Blues. Good little track. Some nice guitar work. So 1967. It's a great track. Then we have a lovely track called Martha. One of my favourites on here. Fantastic track. I love the vocal on that. Wild Time. Another of my favourite tracks by the band. I just love the guitar solo on here. It's fantastic from Jorma. Then we have The Last Wall of the Castle, 2-minute little ditty with a great bass line here. Really is good. From Jack Cassidy. Very, very good. Then we have Rejoice. Another fantastic vocal from Grace. Very hippie type, flowers in your hair type track. I like that. Watch Her Ride. It's alright. Not one of the best ones on the album for me. Then we get Spare Change. It's a bit long. It's an instrumental, 9-minute instrumental. It would have made a great live track, but not to listen to on the studio. Then we have one of my favourite tracks, Two Heads. Some great guitar work here from Jorma and good little rocker. Why Won't You Try? Some nice harmony singing on there. It's just a solid rock track. And then you get Saturday Afternoon, one of the best guitar solos on here. Really chill out and relax sort of track. Good album. Except I think Spare Change could be a little bit shorter, in all honesty. It just sort of makes the album a little bit bit, not boring, but it just takes you off of it. But I'm going to still give this an RTO ranking of 8.1 for the rest of the tracks. Okay then, coming in at number 5, we have the 4th album from August 1968, and it's called Crown of Creation. So it's Marty, Grace, Paul, Yorma and Jack, and Spencer doing the drums. So the first track on here is called Lather. It's quite a folky track. I do like it when they do a little bit of folk. It's a real good vocal from Grace. In Time, another great track. Great vocals here between Marty and Grace, and some nice guitar work from Yorma on that one. Triad, which is a David Crosby song. It's pretty good. I like it. Typical David Crosby song in the lyrics. Then we have a track called Star Track. Love this. I just love the guitar work on here from Yorma. It's fantastic. Great track. Share a Little Joke. Some nice vocals on this. Nice guitar work as usual. Some dreamy keyboard from Grace. Wonderful little track. Then we have another instrumental. It's only 1 minute 17 and it's called Chusharungara. And it's one of them WTF moments. Yeah. What the hell's that doing there? Then we have a track called If You Feel. Just, when you listen to this, you can imagine people sitting around in circles with flowers in their heads and chilling out and probably smoking something they shouldn't. Then we have Crown of Creation, which is the lyric is based on John Windman's The Chrysalids. Really good track. I love the bass line on this from Jack. Really is great. Ice Cream Phoenix. Some interesting drumming on here from Spencer. Some lovely harmonies on here from Grace and Marty. Very, very good track. Greasy Heart comes up. Some more amazing guitar work here from Yorma. Really good. And then we have The House at Poonil Corners. Very proggy, spacey, chill out. Great way to end the album. I love this album. It's very hippie, relaxing, chill out. Just a very good album. So I'm going to give this an RTO ranking of 8.2. Okay then, coming in at number 4 would be their last album until they had that reunion in 89, and this was released in 1972, and it's Long John Silver. So it's the lineup of Grace Slick, Jack Cassidy, Paul Cantor, Yorma, Cahunan and Papa John Creech. I'm going to get hammered for saying his name wrong, but unfortunately I'm not very good on these foreigner names. I get tongue-tied. So we got John Barbata on drums as well, and also Joey Covington does a little bit. And first track on here is called Long John Silver. Great vocal. It is one of the more weaker tracks on here. It's the violin doesn't fit on this. That's me. Then we get Iriri, Gang of Eagles, but Papa John's violin on here is awesome. It's a brilliant track, much better. Then we get Twilight, Double Leader, good little rock track here. Some great work from Yorma on the guitars. Milk Train. Again, you've got a nice interplay here between the guitar and the violin. Really, really good track. Then we have a track called Son of Jesus. Some great riffs on this, solid track. Then we get my favourite track on this one, and it's called Easter. It's got a really good groove on this. It's another fine vocal from Grace. I do love the Grace vocals. She's a great singer. Trial by Fire. It's a great bass line on this. Really drives the song along from Jack. Everyone else sort of hooks onto that bass line and make a really good track. Alexander the Medium. One of my favourite songs on this album. It's got some great guitar work, and then you've got the interplay again with Papa John on that violin. Really works. Eat Starch Mum, another good rocker. That combination of violin and guitar really works, and it's a great way to end the album. This is in their sort of transition, you know, with more rock, and this is a really good album. It's very underrated in my books. Certainly better than their first album as this lineup. Probably the best one of this lineup, and I'll give this an RTO ranking of 8.5. Okay, then coming in at number 3, we have the 5th album from 1969, and it is Volunteers, and it was the last album for Marty Balin and drummer Spencer Dryden. So we got Marty on vocals and percussion, Paul Cantor on vocals and rhythm guitar, Jorma on the lead guitar, Jack on the bass, Spencer on the drums, and of course Grace Slick on the vocals. Also features a certain Nicky Hopkins who gets around. Stephen Stills plays Hammond organ on this, and Turn My Life Down. Jerry Garcia pedal steel on the farm. Joey Covington plays congas. David Crosby plays sailboat on wooden ships. And does ace of vocals on a couple of songs as well. So first track on here is called We Can Be Together. I love this. Great vocal for Marty, and you got Nicky Hopkins on this. Pretty strong track. Then we got A Good Shepherd, which is a traditional song. Some lovely guitar from Jorma on this, and a great vocal from Marty. The Farm. Love this. I like this. Got some nice vocals on here from David Crosby in the background. We've got Jerry Garcia playing the steel guitar. Excellent little track. Hey Frederick. Love this. Great vocal from Grace. And then we've got Turn Down My Life. Lovely vocal between Marty and Grace on there. And some really eerie keyboards. Then we get Wooden Ships, which is written by Paul Cantor, David Crosby and Stephen Stills. Very, very good. One of my favourite tracks on here, without a doubt. But my favourite track is Eskimo Blue Day. Really goes back to the heyday of Flower Power. It's a great guitar solo from Jorma. A song for all seasons. This has got a real country feel to it. And it's a nice vocal here between Marty and Grace again. Meadowlands. Some nice keyboard here from Grace. And then the last track is Volunteers. Great rocker. The vocal from Marty is terrific. Some more great guitar work from Jorma. And a groovy piano from Grace. Absolutely killer. Love that track. It's an excellent album. Bit of rock, psychedelia thrown in, a bit of country in there. It's got some good stuff. Last of the real classic albums of this band. So I'm going to give this an RTO ranking of 9 out of 10. Okay, then coming in at number 2 is the debut album, released on the 15th of August 1966. And on here we've got Marty Balin on rhythm guitar, Singe Tolley Anderson on vocals, Jorma on the lead guitar, Paul Cantor rhythm, Jack Cassidy on bass, Alex Skip Spence drums, and Spencer Dryden doing some drumming as well. First track on here is called Blues from an Airplane. I love that bass line from Jack. Very chilly, psychedelic, wonderful. Let Me In, Paul Cantor sings this, and it's a really good track. It's that sort of very American 60s, that defined San Francisco, and the bass sound really good. Bringing Me Down, another great track. It's one of them sort of sit round in circles with flowers in your hair again. Absolutely a great chill out song. It's No Secret. Reminds me of the Mamas and Papas, this does. It's that sort of sound. I love this. Then we get Tobacco Road. It's not the best version. Big hit for Nashville teens as well. Quite a lot of people have recorded this, but this is not one of the better songs, I'm afraid, versions. Then we get Come Up the Years. Very chilled out. Absolutely. Yay. Then we have Run Around. Paul Cantor singing this again. It's that sort of groovy stuff. It's really solid. Let's Get Together. Very gentle song. We got Cantor, Anderson and Balin singing on this. Really good. Love the heart of the three of them singing. It really sounds good. Don't Slip Away. Again, it's very 60s mainstream pop, and it's a very, very good song. Chauffeur Blues. It's bluesy, and you know, bit of bluesy psychedelia there. Very good. Then we have And I Like It. Great bass line from Jack. He really did have some great bass lines. Really space, psychedelic, bluesy. Fantastic track to end the album. Good album. Still experimental, but I just think it's a very important album, part of the psychedelia movement. So I'm going to give this an RTO ranking of 9.5. Okay, my number one, if you haven't guessed, is that second album from 1967. It was the first one that Grace Slick played on, and it's Surrealistic Pillow. And it was Spencer Dryden's first official album as well. So we got Marty Balin, Jack Cassidy, Spencer Dryden, Paul Cantor, Jorma Kaugen, Grace Slick. So the first track is because She Has Funny Cars. I just love this. The drums from Spencer are just fantastic. First time we hear Grace on the album, and she just adds that extra power to it. Absolutely brilliant. Then we have the classic Somebody to Love. One of the best songs they ever put out. I love this song to death. Great vocal from Grace. Very strong, very powerful. Then we have My Best Friend. This is funky psychedelia with a great groove. I love this little tune. Today, great vocal from Marty. I do love the guitar in this. It's just, again, it's so spacey, effects. You know, it's something different. Come Back to Me. Some great vocal here from Marty, and I think it's so, you can lose yourself in this track. It's that good. Then we have 3/5 of a Mile in 10 Seconds. One of the heavier tracks on here. It's got a really heavy bass from Jack, and I love the vocal between Marty and Grace on this. It's fantastic. Then we have a track DCBA 25. The bass line from Jack is great. It's just a great 60s sort of poppy song. Terrific track. That bass line really does carry it. How Do You Feel? Some great harmonies in here. This is a band that's got some really good singers. You know, you've got Paul Cantor, you've got Marty, you've got Grace, and singing together they really do sound good. Then Embryonic Journey. Really short, but it's a bit of humorous sort of vocal. Quite good. And then we get probably the best track this band ever did, White Rabbit. One of Grace Slick's finest moments. It's just a classic. I love this track. And when you get a film from Vietnam War, there's always this track on it. They put this as a look in the background in it. There's certain tracks that are associated with the Vietnam War, and this is one of them. Absolutely brilliant. Then we get the last track, Plastic, Fantastic Lover, which has got the best bass line from Jack on the album. Again, Jorma's guitar work is this striking. It's an amazing track. Okay, I think this is one of the greatest psychedelic rock albums of all time. It's a very important album. Great musicians, great singers. Every track on this album is just top drawer. I mean, the other albums are good, but I think they peaked too early. Second album in, and it's just a brilliant album. I love playing this. It's probably one of my favourite albums in the 60s as well. And I can only give this one mark, and that's 10 out of 10, because it is just such an important record. Okay, there we go. Starship and Jefferson Starship will come up in the next few months. But this, to me, is the best lineup of this band, and these are the best albums. Not a bad album, really, from none of them. Okay, I'll be back later on this busy day. We're going to do some more Mike Oldfield oddments. Remember when I did non-album songs? I missed some off. A lot of you said, oh, there's this, and this. So I thought, right, we'll have to do another one. So we're going to do it today. So join me for that later. Bye for now.